I'm Hailey Neidig, and this is my oral presentation 2 for Geology 105. What is geology? According to the Geological Society, geology is the study of the structure, evolution, and dynamics of the Earth. Geology investigates the processes that have shaped the Earth through its millions of years' history, and uses rocks and fossil records to unravel the mysteries within that history. It is primarily concerned with the real world, and has direct relevance to the needs of society. The University of Miami describes geological sciences as focusing on the physical environment, change within that environment, natural hazards, and the discovery of energy and mineral resources. Geologists work to understand the history of our planet. The better they can understand Earth's past, the better they can foresee how events and processes in the history of Earth might influence future events. Geologists study many Earth processes such as earthquakes, landslides, and volcanic eruptions. All of these natural occurrences can be massively hazardous to people. Geologists work to understand these events well enough to avoid placing a building somewhere it and people would get hurt. If geologists are able to prepare maps of areas that have flooded in the past, they can prepare maps of areas that might be flooded in the future. These maps can then be used to guide the development of communities and determine where flood insurance is needed. Earth's materials are also studied. We use Earth materials every day. Oil that's produced from drilling, metals that are mined deep underground, and water that's been drawn from streams or from underground reservoirs. Geologists conduct studies that locate these important materials, and even design some of the systems to procure them. In addition to Earth's materials and processes, again, the Earth's history is importantly analyzed. Today's geologists are concerned about climate change, especially, and many are working to learn about the past climates of Earth to see how they changed over time. This information is valuable to understanding how our current climate is and can be changing, and what the end results could be, and what they mean for us, as stated on geology.com. What is geology's impact on our society? Along with everything stated before, geology plays an essential role in many areas of the economy. Every kind of economic growth and/or sustainability requires reliable supplies of energy and mineral resources, a trustworthy supply of clean water, and the secure and sustainable production of food. Without knowing the layout and behavior of land, including soil types and fertility, we would be unable to reliably locate the gold that our currency was once solely based upon, or making enough food to support a population as large as ours. Understanding how buildings, infrastructure, and people interact with their geological environment is essential to assuring public safety and well-being. The information gained from the study of geology delivers a great value for money and meets the challenges of living with environmental change. Tracking that environmental change is important as well, as stated before, especially in order to make sure the human race is still able to support itself with the environmental resources it needs. How has geology helped shape humanity's process through the ages? One thing I will use as a specific example is the Civil War. Before the implementation of military geology, U.S. forces made some interesting decisions on choice of battlegrounds. Studying the land of the most gruesome battles, geologists were able to find a common theme: limestone. In an article by the Smithsonian, they bring up the Battle of Antietam specifically. Now, this battle was fought on different kinds of bedrock, the most prominent being limestone and dolomite. Over thousands and thousands of years, the rock had eroded away. Limestone, being softer, became very flat, creating an open ground with very, very little cover. The dolomite, however, was able to offer a little bit more cover. So the result was clear. Almost 5 times more casualties were produced on the limestone than the dolomite land. Due to surveys like this and advanced geological technology, we're able to know much more about the terrain we engage in battle upon and avoid mistakes like at Gettysburg. Now, at Gettysburg, Union soldiers put themselves near a high, rocky place in order to look commanding. However, when the Confederate soldiers started sending over shells, the Union soldiers were dismayed to find the rock too hard to dig in. As a result, they were unable to dig foxholes and shelter from the explosions. With the efforts of modern geologists, we are now able to avoid these blunders and act much more effectively in warfare, especially with geological technology that allows us to look farther than our own soil. Thank you very much for your time, and this will end my presentation.